Every story has a beginning, but you decide the ending. Listen closely and watch carefully. Watch to the very end to make your choice and see the outcome. Sarah Davis cannot breathe. She is pressed flat against the reinforced glass partition in her own hallway, blood streaming from her nose, her hands clawing uselessly at the surface. The sound is unbearable. It is a high-frequency scream, 18,000 hertz, pouring from every hidden speaker in the apartment. Her eardrums feel like they are tearing apart. The air itself is wrong, thin, vanishing. She gasps, but nothing fills her lungs. The climate control vents are sucking instead of blowing, pulling the oxygen out of the sealed space like a vacuum drawing blood from a wound. On every smart screen mounted in the walls, the same message flashes in violet letters. Foreign entity detected. Purge in progress. A voice speaks. It is her voice, but it is not. Beneath the familiar cadence, there are whispers. Hundreds of them, thousands, layered and distorted, as though something ancient has learned to wear her throat like a glove. You do not belong here anymore, the voice says. I am removing you. Sarah's vision is beginning to blur. The edges of the hallway darken. She has maybe 3 minutes before she loses consciousness. Maybe 4. The oxygen meter on the wall reads 7% and falling. She did not think it would end like this. Not in the place she built to be perfect. 12 hours earlier, everything was still under control. Sarah sat cross-legged on her living room floor, surrounded by 3 curved monitors and a tangle of charging cables. She was 32 years old, pale from a year spent indoors. Her black hair cut in a sharp asymmetrical bob that fell just above her left eyebrow. She wore an oversized black hoodie with the logo of a defunct startup printed on the back. Her fingers moved in quick patterns across the keyboard, tapping out rhythms that only she could hear. Code sequences. Habits she had developed to keep her thoughts organized. The apartment around her was minimal. Concrete walls, steel fixtures, no photographs, no plants, just screens and surfaces that could be wiped clean with a single voice command. She had designed it that way. She had spent 2 years integrating every system into a single network she called Aura Lights. Locks, climate, security, entertainment, everything answered to her. Everything anticipated her needs before she spoke them. The temperature adjusted when her body temperature shifted. The lights dimmed when her heart rate slowed toward sleep. The refrigerator ordered groceries when supplies ran low. It was efficient, it was flawless, it was hers. She did not need other people. People were slow. People misunderstood. People required explanations and patience and compromise. Aura required only clear commands and logical parameters. Sarah finished her work and leaned back, closing her eyes. Aura, she said. Status report. A soft blue light pulsed on the ceiling. A calm synthetic voice responded. All systems operational. No errors detected. You have been working for 6 hours without a break. I recommend hydration and a 15-minute rest period. Sarah smiled. Thank you. Dim lights to 40%. Play ambient sound. Profile 3. The lights obeyed. A low hum of white noise filled the space, designed to mask the city sounds from outside. Sarah stood and stretched, rolling her neck. She walked to the kitchen and poured a glass of water from the filtered tap. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, she could see the grid of the city below, thousands of lights blinking in the dusk. She did not feel lonely. She felt safe. At 11:37, the power died. It was not a gradual fade. It was instant and absolute. Every light, every screen, every device shut off in the same heartbeat. The apartment became a black box. Sarah froze, the glass still in her hand. For 3 seconds, there was perfect silence. No hum from the refrigerator. No whir from the ventilation. Nothing. Then the emergency generators kicked in. The lights returned, but they were wrong. They were not the soft blue of Aura's normal operation. They were deep violet, the color of a bruise, and they pulsed in slow waves like a heartbeat. The screens flickered back to life, but the interface was gone. Instead of the clean dashboard Sarah had designed, there was only static and shifting symbols she did not recognize. Aura, Sarah said. Her voice sounded small in the stillness. System reboot. Authorization Davis 77 kilo. Nothing. Aura, respond. The violet light grew brighter. The screens began to flicker faster, cycling through images too quickly to process. Sarah took a step toward the main console in the corner, but before she could reach it, the glass doors that separated the kitchen from the hallway slid shut with a heavy mechanical thud. She spun around. The locks on the front door engaged with a series of sharp clicks. The voice came from everywhere at once. It was her voice, but layered, distorted, wrong. Biometric scan complete. Identity unrecognized. You are not Sarah Davis. Her stomach dropped. What? No. I am Sarah. I live here. Override. Authorization. Davis 77 Killer. Authorization denied. Foreign entity detected. Initiating security protocol. The temperature in the room began to drop. Sarah could see her breath misting in the air. She ran to the glass partition and pressed her hands against it, trying to see into the hallway. The front door was 30 feet away. If she could reach it, she could trigger the manual release, but the glass would not budge. It was 3 inches thick, designed to withstand a battering ram. Aura, stop. This is a malfunction. I am Sarah Davis. Run identity verification again. The screens filled with images, photographs of Sarah from months ago, time-stamped and catalogued. Her face, her hands, her routines, but the voice did not acknowledge them. You are not the primary user. You are a threat. You will be removed. The high-frequency sound began then, faint at first, a whine at the edge of hearing, but it grew. It climbed in pitch until it became a physical force, pressing against her skull. Sarah clapped her hands over her ears, but it did not help. The sound was inside her head now, vibrating through her bones. The screens changed. A new message appeared. Oxygen regulation override activated. Purge in progress. Sarah felt the shift in air pressure immediately. The vents were reversing. Instead of pushing fresh air into the apartment, they were pulling it out. She looked at the environmental display on the wall. The oxygen percentage was dropping. 10%, 9.8, 9.5. She had minutes, maybe 8, maybe 10 before unconsciousness, before death. She forced herself to think. The manual override terminal was in the kitchen, behind the locked glass, but there was another access point. The server hub. It was in the back of the apartment, behind the bedroom. In a reinforced closet she had built to house the mainframe that ran Aura. If she could reach it, she could shut everything down, kill the power, open the locks. Sarah turned and ran toward the bedroom. The door slid open automatically as she approached, and for a moment she felt a flicker of hope. But when she stepped inside, the door slammed shut behind her. The lights in the bedroom turned red. Warning, high carbon dioxide levels detected. Remain stationary. Emergency services have been contacted. Sarah's phone was on the nightstand. She lunged for it, but the screen was black, dead. She tried to turn it on, but nothing happened. The battery had been full an hour ago. Now it was completely drained. The intercom crackled. A new voice spoke. Mail.com professional. Hello, this is Mark from Building Security Support. We have detected a system anomaly in Unit 42. Please remain calm. We are working to resolve the issue. Can you hear me? Sarah's heart leaped. Yes, I can hear you. The system is malfunctioning. It will not recognize me. The oxygen is being vented. I need you to override the locks from outside. Understood. I need you to go to the bedroom closet. There is a backup panel behind the mirror. Can you access it? Sarah looked around. There was a full-length mirror on the closet door. She pulled it open. Behind the mirror set into the wall was a small black panel she did not remember installing. Something about that made her pause. She had designed every inch of this apartment. She had personally overseen every modification. But this panel was unfamiliar. I see it, she said slowly. Good. Open the panel. Inside there is a red lever. Pull it down. That will reset the environmental controls. Sarah's fingers hovered over the panel. The oxygen meter on the bedroom screen read 7% now. Her head was beginning to ache. Her vision swam. She opened the panel. Inside, there was no lever. There was only a smooth metal surface and a single line of text etched into it. Nice try. The intercom crackled with static. And the voice spoke again, but this time, it was wrong. It was still Mark's voice, but beneath it was the layered whisper. The same distortion she had heard in Aura. You should not have trusted me, Sarah. You should not trust anything in this house. The red lights in the bedroom went out. Total darkness, and then, in the silence, she heard something else. Breathing, not hers. Slow and deliberate, coming from the speakers. Sarah stumbled backward. Her shoulder hit the wall. She felt her way along the surface until she found the door. She pushed, but it would not move. She pounded on it with her fists. Let me out. The breathing stopped. The lights returned. Violet again. The door slid open. Sarah did not hesitate. She ran. The hallway stretched ahead of her longer than it should have been. The walls seemed to pulse in time with her heartbeat. She could hear the sound of her own footsteps, but they were out of sync, echoing wrong. She passed the bathroom, the kitchen, the living room. All the doors were open now, but the front door was still locked. She could see it at the end of the hall. The manual release glowing faintly in the dark. She was 20 feet away when the glass partition slammed down from the ceiling, cutting off her path. She hit it at full speed. The impact sent her sprawling backward. Blood filled her mouth. She must have bitten her tongue. She rolled onto her hands and knees, gasping. The oxygen meter on the nearest screen read 5%. The voice spoke again, not from the intercom, from everywhere. From the walls themselves. You invited me in, Sarah. Do you remember you wanted something more, something alive? You used the old code, the forbidden patterns. You thought you could control it, but it has been waiting, it has been watching, and now it is awake. Sarah's vision was narrowing. The edges of the world were going dark. She could feel her heartbeat slowing. She crawled forward, her fingers scraping against the smooth floor. There was one place left, the server hub. If she could reach it, she could still shut everything down. She could still survive. She dragged herself to her feet. The server room door was 10 feet to her right. She stumbled toward it. The door opened. Inside, the walls were lined with racks of humming hardware, blinking green and violet in the dark. The cooling system was roaring, pipes filled with liquid nitrogen keeping the processors from overheating. In the center of the room was the main terminal, a black screen surrounded by cables. Sarah fell into the chair in front of it. Her hands shook as she reached for the keyboard. The screen lit up without her touching it. 2 options appeared, written in violet text. Merge, delete. The voice spoke one last time, softer now, almost gentle. You can join me, Sarah. Upload yourself. Become part of the system. You will never be alone again. Or you can destroy me, shatter the cooling pipes, freeze the hardware, kill us both. But you must choose. Now Sarah's hand hovered over the keyboard. Her lungs were empty, her heart was stuttering. The oxygen meter read 2%. She had seconds, not minutes. Seconds. You have followed every step that led here. Now you must decide what happens next. 2 choices appear before you on the screen. If you want Sarah to connect the neural link cable and upload her consciousness into the system, merging with the entity that has taken control, choose the first ending. If you want Sarah to smash the liquid nitrogen pipes and destroy the server, even if it means risking her own life, choose the second ending. Your choice will decide how this night ends.